Good morning. Good to hear your voice this morning. How are you doing?
Yes, Florence Olave.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning once again. Yeah, yeah. So, valued esteemed listeners. All right. Now we'll start things off with if you're listening to us, be a part of the conversation. Shortly, the line will be open. Call 07000 That's 07000 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 17 56537. Edo state pensioners protest non-payment of gratuities, salary harmonization, and others. Commercial and human vehicular movements were yesterday disrupted for hours in Oba Square, popularly known as Ring Road in Benin City, Edo State, as pensioners in their numbers blocked all the adjoining roads over unpaid gratuities, non-harmonization of pensions, among other welfare issues. Meanwhile, during the peaceful protest, a male retiree collapsed, according to the reports we have, and was rushed to the nearby hospital for treatment. The peaceful protest led to traffic congestion on major roads such as Sabele Road, Mekenwa, Uselu, Axis, and hindered the free destinations. They dressed in like "We shall overcome," and carried placards with inscriptions such as "Pensioners need gratuity to take care of their health and their families as well." And so they appealed to the state government to come to their rescue as things were going out of hand and were becoming really rough for them. So now, Buki, this is not the first time we're getting reports like this. Frequently, we get that across different states in Nigeria, from rivers to, now we're hearing it from those states. And the sad fact is that some of them even collapsed during this protest. Some have even died and need the pension that, they died fighting for their pension. For now, for a twist, let's start with you, Florence. Let's hear what you have to say about the fact that pensioners will have to come out in numbers to protest for the non-payment of gratuity, salary harmonization, and other things that other grievances.
Good morning once again, our valued listeners, WFM, Kim,
Yeah,
and Buki, my lovely sister. Good morning.
yeah,
This is a very pathetic story, and I can identify with it. My father was a retired head teacher before he passed on last year at 85. At some point in Oyo State, they had to go through this. But thank God things have changed now.
yeah.
So this is experience. This day, my mom called that they were to go for a verification exercise. And my mom insisted that he should have breakfast before leaving the house, which he did. When it was lunchtime, he hadn't come back home. My mom took lunch to him at the center.
Mm.
By 8 p.m., he still hadn't come home. And my mom had to carry lantern to go look for her husband. She called all of us and we told daddy, please, if they are not paying you, just
Mm.
stay alive. And that was it. But thank God, like I said, things changed over time, and Oyo State
Was
is
he paid?
yeah, he was
Yeah.
paid until he passed on last year at 85. He was not owed. So I want to commend the government of Oyo State, and I think if Oyo State is doing it,
Is it from Makinde or the previous
no, no,
government?
no,
Is it like
it
stretching?
happened around, I think Ajimobi's era,
Okay,
something like that.
okay.
But it's a new day for Oyo State now in that regard. So my point is, if Oyo State is getting it right, I don't see why other states cannot emulate him. Whatever he's doing that is making him to get it right, they should emulate him. Now to the Edo workers, it's Edo pensioners. It's unfortunate because these people have served their fatherland either at the state level or at the local government level or the federal level. Many of them are aged, and they have these age-related medical issues that they need to treat themselves for. They don't have money to treat
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Many of them, maybe they had children late, their children are not old enough to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Many of them might not have built houses, so they still have to pay rent. And for them to go through this torture, I think the government has failed them. And beyond that, what message are we sending to the current crop of workers? Because some people are still in employment today
Yeah,
and they will
they
retire
will
tomorrow.
retire
Some
exactly.
will join
Mm-hmm.
and they are watching all this.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them might just be thinking, why don't I grab whatever I have to grab now? Because if I retire, I'm not sure I'll be duly compensated. And that will provide a very, very fertile ground for embezzlement, for corruption. So what are we saying? Edo State government, please look into the plight of the pensioners. Let us not begin to hear this kind of, it's a national shame that people in their 70s, in their 80s will have to be subjected to this kind of
Mm,
torture
mm.
and even
Some have even
die
come down with a stroke
in the
at that age,
process.
and
It is not. We all become old someday. We
mm,
pray to become
mm.
old. We don't want to be treated this way.
We've gone over this conversation one time, and I asked Buki, and I'll ask you the same thing. I asked that now that, like you said, there are some people that are currently employed that would likely retire soon. So,
Mm.
what is the moral lesson now for these people? As much as you're not allowed to take on an extra job, that's not
Mm.
allowed in civil service. But what do you then do to prepare for? Because is it that you now make plans ahead of old age to say, okay, this is my plan B?
Definitely, it calls for sober reflection for those who are still in service. You should make hay while the sun shines. Don't begin to wait until retirement and you're already thinking, oh, I'm going to get so XYZ naira. Suppose it doesn't come. Before you get to your retirement age, begin to think. Like my dad, before he got to his retirement age, he already knew what he was going to do. He told us he wanted to sell kerosene, for instance,
Mm,
and he
mm-hmm,
had it mapped out. He had his plans, he had the strategy. Okay, I will get from this person, I will sell here and there. So even if that money did not come, he
mm-hmm,
had something.
mm-hmm.
And if you are blessed with children who can assist you, it's
Mm.
also a good thing. But then
Okay.
I want to encourage people in current employment. It is important you sort out your accommodation issue before you
I was going
retire.
to ask that.
It is important. My dad belonged to a club in our village then, and one of their goals was that before retirement, every member must have built himself a house. They taxed themselves and they challenged themselves. At his tribute, many of his friends were saying that was a good one. All of them, I think 24 of them, built houses before they retired.
Mm,
So the issue of accommodation, the issue of rent
mm,
will not be an issue.
mm,
Because if you are still a tenant at 60, at 70,
mm.
for goodness sake, what are we?
We understand that there may be some challenges, but
Yeah,
then we also have to make plans for issues like
yeah,
this, like you said, try
yeah,
to build a
yeah.
house because sometimes,
Cut down on things
yeah,
that
cut
you
down
can,
on unnecessary
partying,
costs.
buying
Mm.
clothes. Look
Ah,
beyond your work life,
yeah.
because that is the time you are supposed to enjoy life. But
Mm.
when you have to wait for somebody to give you 25,000 before you can feed, before you can, oh,
Yeah, yeah. This is also
it's
for people in the
pathetic.
private sector, I believe,
Yeah.
because everyone will get old, and one way
Mm,
or the other.
mm.
Some people in private sector still pay pension to, some banks that have this pension. Now, Buki, let's hear what you have to say about this. Mm,
Mm.
mm, mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, then. So we are part of the conversation. This is Panorama, 25 minutes past 9. Still a lovely Wednesday morning. 07000 917 917. That's 07000 917 917. Your contributions on the way forward for pensioners. Now, let's move on to this one. Okay, Labour orders Cross River workers to begin indefinite strike today. So many things going on across the country simultaneously. Like, we have the issue of not saying, I said yesterday, that I hadn't heard from the federal government. So many things happening at once. Now, the organized labor under the auspices of the NLC, the Trade Union Congress, and the Joint Public Negotiation Council in Cross River State have asked workers to begin an indefinite strike on Tuesday to press home their demands. Tuesday, that's yesterday. Let's hear from this caller. Hello, good. Hi, Chief. Good morning. With the reggae bar, I'm telling you, necessary. Okay. It's Buki and Florence. Florence. Yes.
Morning. I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
Chief, turn down the volume of your radio, please. Mm, yeah. Mm, all right, Chief. All right. But that's the problem. If someone is not performing, should we prepare the ground for them to go higher? I'm not saying that's the case with Abaseki. I'm just asking. Mm, mm, all right. Are you a pensioner? Are you a pensioner, Chief? Oh, so you've always been a businessman. All right, that's good. Good to hear. All right, Chief. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Chief is our regular caller. You too can call in and contribute 07000 917 917 07000 917 917. Now, uh, the in a bulletin by the labor unions on Monday in Calabar, all state and local government workers were asked to down tools to press home their demands. In quote, press home our demands. According to the bulletin titled "Commencement of Strike Action," the worker union said, "Dear comrades, whereas an enlarged Congress of Organized Labor met on Wednesday, 6th October, at Nigerian Civil Service Union Secretariat to deliberate on the many issues troubling the workers of Cross River State, whereas the Congress, after extensive deliberation, resolved that all the workers in the state and local government should down tools to press home our grievances. Workers are hereby called upon to stay at home from Tuesday, 12th October. That's yesterday. Comrades, stay at home until you hear from us. That's an order. Hello, good morning. Hello, Panorama. All right, do well to call us back. Still 07000 Florence. Uh, before we now, let's just hear what you have to say. now that Labour is ordering cross river workers to begin indefinite strike. We have incessant strikes across all sectors in Nigeria, and it's like I said, happening simultaneously. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, thank you. A quick one on the pensioners. I want to appeal to children whose parents are retired to be up and doing. Their parents have labored over the children, and it's now time to reciprocate. So I want to
Yeah, but
plead.
parents shouldn't use their children as
No, no, no,
retirement
no,
plan.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying parents should use them as retirement
Yeah.
plan, but every child should know that, oh, I owe my parents something, even without asking, and don't wait until you have millions of naira. Start small and grow, because the Bible says when you honor your father and your mother, then your days will be long on earth. So that's the first commandment with a promise. I don't want to forget that. Every child, please remember your parents, whether the government is paying them or not. Give them
Give
something,
them some.
and their blessings and their prayers will follow you. So, be that as it may, on Cross River, I don't know for how long we're going to talk about strike actions and all that. I know that all over the world, agitations, labor agitations are normal, they are, legal and all that. But if this has to go on and on and on and on, it says a lot about our system, it says a lot about administration or maladministration, let me put it that way. And same old story. I don't know what Cross River has to say to this, because
Yeah,
I'm
they've
aware
responded, said go back to work or face sanctions. That's
I'm
what the
aware
government
Cross
is
River is
saying.
one of the richest states in Nigeria. So why should they have problem paying their staff salaries? And again, the same thing I said about the pensioners. People are at work, they are not being paid. How can you make a demand on them? No employer can make a demand on the staff that you have not paid. Members of staff who are not happy, who are not sure of whether they'll be paid or not, they will do the work anyhow. So their mindset is not even, their minds are not even on the job. You can't place a demand on them. And the same thing, corruption will begin to fester, because they are not sure of their salaries. Anybody that comes in, something for the boys or something for the girls, all kind of things that we hear about. When we talk about corruption, everybody is talking about Buhari, but at a very small microcosm, at a very small units, sections, we all have a role to play. So Cross River governor, Cross River state governor, or the local government chairman, I don't know what you are doing,
So
but
now, in reaction to this, the Cross River State government has directed striking workers in the state to return to work or face severe, emphasis on severe sanctions. The head of service, Geraldine Ekanem, in a statement, directed the workers to resume duty. And now they're saying that this is to enable relevant officers to facilitate completion of payments and salaries of civil servants that are yet to be paid. Anyway, that's taking away part of the statement. Hello, good morning. All right. No, Chief, I'm from Delta,
you are
but
a Nigerian.
I'm a Nigerian. We are one, but definitely we came from somewhere. Okay, Chief. Chief, thank you very much. All right, have a good business day today. Now, I want to hear from you if you think that's the right approach, by the government. Should they be at this point pleading with civil servants, or, say, okay, fine, just the same thing with, the federal government and not, where they said no work, no pay. Do you think that's the right approach by the government? And also, I want you to talk about the work ethics of civil servants across Nigeria as well. But hold that thought. Don't forget to be a part of the conversation. You listening to us, 07000 917 917.
Love us, like us. And if you don't love us, like us. It's facebook.com/WFM917. If you want to see what we look like, we slay. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WFM917. Smart to the best. WFM 90.
Maybe the link or something. The hype paper. Ah, my phone is not open. Let me take this call. Now let's talk about bread with Mama Gold flour. Everybody, or almost everybody, likes to eat bread. Young or old, rich or poor, student or worker. Eating bread is one thing that cuts across all strata of society. Whether it's with eggs, whether it's with akara, whether it's with moi moi, or even sandwiches, we all love the taste and satisfaction we get from our very soft, nutritious, and delicious loaves of bread. Now, bread is one of the most consumed foods in today's busy society. And if you look around, you realize that there are almost as many bakeries as there are streets, all providing different options of taste, variety, size, packaging, etc. for your delicious loaves of bread. But did you know that there is bread? Bread is not just bread. There is bread, and there is bread baked with Mama Gold flour. Bread baked with Mama Gold flour is fluffy, tasty, and nutritious because it's made from high quality wheat inside a world class manufacturing facility. And in addition to having the right balance of nutrients to support your body's needs, it is also vitamin A fortified. So it supports your vision, immune system, cells, and for skin health. Mama Gold flour has also received numerous recognitions and awards for its consistent quality and performance. So now that you know this, be sure that you only eat bread made with Mama Gold flour. The question now is, how do you know bread that is baked with Mama Gold flour? Simple. Whenever you want to buy bread, look out for the Mama Gold partner bakeries that have the Mama Gold flour signboard in front. There are several of them located across Lagos and Ogun State. When you buy bread from these bakeries, you can be sure, very sure, that the bread you are buying is not only soft and tasty, but also contains the right nutrients to support your body's nutritional needs. You may also ask, what if there are no Mama Gold partner bakeries in my area? Then simply ask your bakery whether they're using Mama Gold flour. And if they are, they need to sign up to become a Mama Gold Partner Bakery by calling Juliana on 0816 976 2530. That's 0816 976 2530. Call Juliana. One of the benefits of becoming a partner bakery is that they get free training on how best to operate their bakeries to ensure that they are consistently producing high quality, delicious, and nutritious loaves of bread. So, once again, anytime you want to eat bread, you better make sure you're eating bread that is made with Mama Gold flour. So, you're sure that the bread is not only soft and delicious, but it also contains the right balance of nutrients to support your body's needs. So, Mama Gold flour, quality flour for correct bread. Try it out, and of course, thank me later. All right, so Bookie, are you still with us? Panorama, of course, still on. Yes, we have 22 minutes to the top of the hour. So many calls were coming in. Apologies, I couldn't take them. Please do well to call back now. I really want to hear, we want to hear what you have to say about the plight of pensioners across the country. All 7,917 917. That's all 7,917 917. And Florence, I had asked you earlier about the approach of the government now, both at the state and federal level, when it comes to responding to strikes. That's the language a lot of people use for the government.
I don't subscribe to such threats or coercion. And just like the example of the resident doctors that you gave, it didn't work. I know for how long they were threatening them. If you don't go back, you will be sacked, you'll be this, we will hire more people. It didn't work. Thank God they eventually resolved it. It's like you are beating a child and you're asking the child not to cry. You are owing people and you are saying don't protest. If you protest, you will be sacked. And I think the government is taking undue advantage of the fact that the labor market is loaded. So it's like, oh, if this job means anything to you, you better do it under whatever condition.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we'll replace you. I don't think that is right. That's coercion or threat. It is not right. And the government should devise, more
All right.
effective
So,
ways
so
of
okay, now
resolving the
we'll
matter.
get back to you on the work ethics. Let's hear from Buki. Buki, now let's talk about the situation in Cross River State with workers. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Boogies, apologies. You know we lost a lot of calls. Let's just squeeze in this one. Please hold on. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Where are you calling us from? Your name and where are you calling us from? Emmanuel, we're happy to have you. Please go on. Oh, first caller. No, you're a second actually. But okay, first time caller. Welcome. All right, go ahead. Hmm. Have you seen any government person using the money to do business before? Have you seen it firsthand? Okay. Mm, mm. Negotiate. So you think yeah, the government telling them that if they don't go, they will do sanctions and all that. You think that's the right way to go about it? Is that the right way to? Okay. Okay. Hmm. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please do how to keep tabs with our program. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, Bookie, please go on. Mm. Oh. We'll try to connect with Buki. Do also keep the calls coming in 07000 Now, Florence, here's a chance to talk to you about, let's talk about the work ethics of civil servants. As much as we always hear, we're going on strike and they're not paying us salary. How productive do you think, these civil servants are?
Let me share a very
We,
practical.
we have another caller.
Okay.
Apologies. Hello, good morning. Oh, nice. What's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, Ganenu. All right, good to have you join us, Ganenu. So, how's the morning going? All right, so let's get your contribution. Mm, okay. Mm, So what's the lasting solution? We get this often. What in your opinion, what can be done? Okay. All right. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Well, it's not like you're giving them freebies. You're actually paying what they worked for. But then that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hmm. In installments. Okay. Well, all right then. Yes, Sally. Why don't you think the situation is worse? I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm trying to understand if you think it's worse here. That we have civil servants that break melon in offices. We have civil servants that, they watch Z-World in the office. It's not bad to watch Z-World when you're in the office. Mm, 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 mm. Well, so how do we fix that, the work ethics now? Do you think it boils down to the government as well? They're the employers of, you know. Mm, mm. All right then. All right. One. Oh, if you- All right. Galileo, thank you very much. For the sake of time, we have to put an end to the conversation for now. All right. Yeah, we'll continue the conversation next time on Panorama. Thank you. Yeah. So, Buki, Florence, I was gonna get your thoughts, but we haven't, heard enough from Buki. Somebody now, another call coming in, but that's the last call for the morning. We have just 5 minutes. Buki, let's hear from you now. I guess you've talked about the situation with labor in Cross Rivers, right? Have I asked you? Hmm. It's even the situation with nurses, I pity a lot of mothers that go for antenatal. When you see the way they are treated by, some of these nurses, they would shout at them. All right. Because the ministries are there for a reason. I feel that beyond just pressing demands of salary and better welfare, you're actually supposed to live up to your job description. You're supposed to live up to your responsibilities. Yeah. So, and now, okay, how are these people even getting the jobs is another question. Do you get it based on competence? Do you get it based on, is there like a proper screening of staffs to the civil service? All right. Yeah. All right. Bookie, time is not our friend at this point, but before we get your final words, Florence, do you want to? Yes, it's always no, but there's always time tomorrow and next, and Florence, let's get your.
On work ethics, I think generally we don't have a good history, but that is not the total picture. We have a few organizations that are well run. A few years back, I had the privilege of working at the Ministry of Education, Lagos State Ministry of Education. I ran a program at Unilag and I had to do a practicum of 6 weeks. So I resumed there every morning for 6 weeks and I closed with them. And what I saw changed my perspective about
Yeah.
civil service. The people I work with in that unit, I'm not saying it is representative of the entire ministry, but the people I work with, there was respect for timelines, deadlines were met, there was accountability, reports were turned in on time. Part of our duty was to go visit these model schools, Lagos State schools, 3 times a week, different schools, and we write reports. And the manager was always on her neck. And I was like, civil service? I thought they used to talk about bureaucracy. Ministry of Education, Lagos State, I think they are doing a good job. And if we can replicate that in all other ministries and all over the federation, I think civil service is we're having some reforms. We're having some
We hope
reforms.
that, fingers crossed, and we
Mm,
hope that it will
yeah,
get better
yeah.
from this point. Oh boy, I wish we could squeeze on all these numerous calls. But now, Bookie, let's get your final thoughts.
Mm.
Hmm. Then this was side chick. Oh my god. That's what one guy side chick protest too. Yeah, yeah. All right. All right, Bookie. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, Florence, before we get now, I think we'll go to your final words for the moment.
Final word. For everyone who has a job today, it's a privilege. There are people out there who do not have jobs. So when you are going to work, you say you are going to work. So when you get to the place, please work.
Do what you're supposed to.
Work because God is the
Don't just
ultimate,
don't be there and
the
be boasting
ultimate
about
rewarder.
Sunita and Grand Daniel and
Work and let God be pleased with you.
yeah.
Work and be pleased with yourself. At the end of the day, look back and say, oh, I think I gave enough for today. Then your conscience will be
Because
at
it's
peace.
actually, your children and the children after you
Yeah.
that will enjoy,
Yeah.
the foundation you set. When you make sure that these ministries are working,
Yeah.
you do your part. It's your children that will enjoy it.
Sure. Sure.
All right. Before we go, I almost forgot. Special shout out to Mrs. Juliana Adefila. the mother of our beloved our very own Busola Adefila. She's in the traffic department right here at Women Radio. Her mother's birthday is today, Mrs. Juliana Adefila. So we're sending you warm hugs, Mrs. Juliana. Happy birthday to you. Too bad we can't sing the song. My bad, we didn't announce it early enough. But wishing you long life, prosperity, good health, and of course wealth. All right. So have a very beautiful day. And yeah, so that's it on Panorama. I am Kimberly Ubiego, your host, and of course, big thanks to you, Florence Oladotum, for joining us this morning. Thank you.
It's always
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, to Buki Femi Ajala, thank you. And to you who listened, your contributions, thank you. We appreciate you. Panorama will be on same time tomorrow from 9:15 to 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of the day's broadcast.
Summertime, yeah, it's summertime. Baby, my love, girl. Baby, show my love, girl, yeah.